6 months ago to the day the big update dropped. Let's check out the new one. So the first thing we're looking at, the Cacodemon speed was nerfed on I'm Too Young to Die and Hurt Me Plenty, but doesn't really matter. Does it make it a lot easier? Well, as you see here how fast they're moving, this is actually the new I'm Too Young to Die speed. Now ignore the projectiles that they're shooting and how many of those. That's about the token system we'll talk about in just a second. You can see that they have a decent speed about themselves and I can pretty well evade them. And let's take a look at the bites. The bites look alright. But I want to take a look now at the Nightmare difficulty and compare how much slower or faster they are. And as you can see, ignore the projectile amounts, but you can see how much faster they come toward me, whether biting or not. It's their fly speed that has been adjusted. But does this really matter in battle? Well, we're about to find out here in a second as we bring them down here just a little more. So as you see here, we have a pretend battle at hand here, and we're going to focus on the bottom here while also watching for the cacos. I also have God Mode on to show you. Really don't have to worry about it. Actually, no, let's turn that off. All right, so let's look at this here. The cacos from the sky are shooting probably, they're a little slow to catch up with me. That's okay. We're being able to keep our distance nicely, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing. Cacos are horrible about pressure and spacing, so if you can keep your distance, then you'll be much, much better off because they want to corner you, they want to zip up to you, bite you really fast, and it takes them longer to do that now on the lower difficulties, meaning the reaction time is less. You don't have to be as crazy with it. That is a satisfying ice bomb. So with all these enemies going on, let's take a look at the Nightmare difficulty skill here. Well, we are on Nightmare actually. See, that's normal. Now this is I'm Too Young to Die. Now they're taking a moment to get to me. See, look at this. I can just run away, deblade. Oh, that was satisfying. Deblade them all and just run this way. Now let's take a look here. There's another change we'll be talking about here in just a second that I definitely want to show you. So let's come over here away from everything and watch how fast these cacos fly. A little more. It's not super noticeable unless you're really paying attention for it. But, like I said, the reaction time and the newer players already have a lot going on the battlefield at once. One less thing for them to worry about to that degree of a skilled player will definitely help everything. Oh yeah. So let's talk about the next change coming up here as we look at the full auto. Now, here's the full auto. Looks good, right? Well, what if this wind up here could be canceled out? Watch. So if you don't want to wind it all the way up and you want to cancel out with a punch, you can. People have jokingly said that punch, look how it makes my screen a little janky because of the zoom in. You can kind of tell here. Wow. So if you want to do like punch swap full auto, I don't even know if that's a real thing, but that's okay anyway. Now 2 years into the game and we're getting an AI change. I mean, the Arachnotron change from a while back was a little bit of time ago, but here's the thing about this. Do you think this should go to all difficulties or stay here as we go into the next changes? Leave it as a comment, and if you do it as a super thanks, a new YouTube feature, it'll highlight the comment for me and it lets you support the channel through a tip and make sure that I see it. So comment below and let me know what you think, and let's talk about the rest of this here. So there's some accessibility changes here with this. You have a new pop-up that if you've loaded up the game, you've definitely seen, and there's text to speech, which is interesting. You can do it with chat in battle mode and speech to text. So hopefully it doesn't get spammed a lot through a bunch of people, but you can kind of see the little exemplar image here, incoming, outgoing, translation, a bunch of cool things like that. And I'm very curious to see there's a contrast filter, which is brightness, velocity, and this is all in the Slayers Club too, by the way, which is showing us the pictures that we have here. Now there are quality of life improvements for all platforms. So for general gameplay, the Combat Shotgun Full Auto mod wind down animation can now be interrupted by melee input, like I just showed you. In the campaign, if you die to the Marauder only one time per save game, don't worry, then this pop-up shows, hey, you need to fight them this way or do this, how to daze him, super shotgun, ballista. And it also says rapid fire weapons like the plasma and heavy cannon are ineffective at dazing the Marauder, so it throws that extra little tip in there, interestingly enough. Of course, we know about Caco's speed reduced on I'm Too Young to Die and Hurt Me Plenty. I showed you that as well. So when you're on Horde Mode, there's a notification effect for getting a new medal, and you can hide the HUD in Horde Mode. You can see the difference between on and off. That's really cool because some people I know want to play Horde just for the gameplay itself or the randomizer where they don't even need to score, and then you can turn off the sounds in the menu anyway to treat Horde Mode like it's more of a regular game mode instead of the arcade style. So very curious to see how the community reacts to that and who uses that. And a shortened duration end of round sequence makes it a lot quicker, that's for sure. A lot of battle mode changes here. I haven't played it in a while myself, but some Slayer nerfs, demon buffs, some changes to console, but bug fixes for all platforms. So this is a good one here. 2 years later, the Argentus Palati milestone would not unlock the Sentinel podium. Thanks to everybody for their incredible patience with this one, has now been fixed. 2 years later, very nice. There's an issue, the Ember Slayer's flame effects weren't displaying correctly in the cinematics, which is okay, that's cool. Now look at this here. Jumping vertically from a coffin wall at the same time it drops would result in phantom collision, and what? That's a little bit technical there. Now this is big right here. Fixed a bug where a Doom Hunter could erroneously damage the Slayer while faltered within melee range. I remember hearing about that years ago, and it was something that the early game had an issue with. I thought it was fixed, so we see it here, which is nice. But we have other little things there, like the Destroy the Father's Life Sphere objective, Blood Swamps, they disappear. Ancient Gods 2 resolved an issue where increasing to Nightmare from a lower difficulty and then completing it incorrectly shows Nightmare as the highest difficulty played. What that means is that if you go in I'm Too Young to Die and you switch to Nightmare to get an achievement, it will not show Nightmare anymore. So that sounds like you have to beat a level from Nightmare start to finish to get the actual recognition for that, whether it's a skin or what have you. Some interesting there. So some battle mode, some horde mode changes, little things like that. Master level adjustments though, check this out. Fixed a bug that accidentally removed the Soul Sphere and Crucible from the Mars Core Master level in Classic mode. Now those are big deals. Soul Spheres are the full heals. They're not quite like the Mega Spheres in Classic that were the 200-200 bonus, but they're a very big deal. And of course having the Crucible as well is an instant delete on a Baron or a Tyrant or an Archvile. Very valuable things fixed up as well. There's an issue with the Combat Shotgun mod. It was not usable if you interrupt the pickup animation with the plasma rifle. Not as big of a deal there, but if you are a full auto fan, that would be pretty impactful, depending on, I guess, how much you use it or how you did that. So Tag 2 fixed a bug in which backing out of the upper cottage in the World Sphere Master level with the Marauder, it will cause the gates to stay up and be non-functional, and just kind of hang out and prevent enemies on the way to Cathedral from spawning. Not bad. So there's a bug fix for PC here. A crash could occur when cycling weapons in the final Marauder playable demon weapon tutorial. Not too bad there. There's a PS5 where the Arcade Slayer custom skin wouldn't appear on the intro, so little things, little bug fixes, always nice to have 2 years later. I do feel like we're in maintenance mode where they're kind of coasting a little bit, but we still have some issues that have come up, so let's see what happens here. So this talks about text-to-speech, colorblind settings. That could be good for folks that really do need the assistance with the colorblind settings, only applying to the interface and not into the in-world game elements. That could be a big deal because the point of the colorblind setting is to see the game properly and better. So I could see where that would be a good one to fix for those that use that. We don't have the data, we don't know the numbers of how many people do, but it would be good to know. Some different things for PC for battle mode, general gameplay. Now check this out here. Alt-tabbing during load screens and menu transitions may cause the game to freeze. To avoid this issue, do not alt-tab during load screens and menu transitions. What I've always done is hit Alt-Enter to put it in window mode and then Alt-tab. Don't do Alt-tab with the game on gigantic full screen. Alt-Enter, then Alt-tab. I've been doing it since Doom 2016, definitely do that. So there's a PS5 issue here for accessibility, and then for PC, check this out. Users with the buff spec Intel GPUs can play Doom Eternal with this driver here. Contact Intel customer support, blah blah. So they're supporting more Intel Intel GPUs now, which is actually Intel announced some other GPU news not long ago, that sort of thing. So to see them bring more support in is awesome and very good for that. Subscribe and check out the Doom Millionaire show right here. You'll love it. You'll have a great time, and be sure to check out the next one. Thanks for watching.